person, Mr. K.K. Jha sir, Bimlesh Kumar Singh, if you are hearing me, as well as Mr. Arvind Kumar Chaudhary. It is very painful to say, it is very painful evening that we are here sitting together because as an STNC, here I am attending the online session. But unfortunately, today our three friends got relieved from here and they will join their new destination on 2nd of March. So, how I will say that they are not part of our heart, our soul. But दुनिया की यही रीत है. Just it is quoted by Ranjit Singh. With this introduction, I would like to thank Mr. Sanjay Kumar sir. Sir, through your fruitful session, I think that all the participants will get benefited regarding a topic that how we can handle the school after post-COVID situation. It is really very challenging. Sir, I hope that you are surely managed well, prepared well, and you will motivate us through your valuable speech. Now I'm just calling over. It's a call over to Mr. Sanjay sir. Sanjay sir, you can continue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, handing over to me this session. All honorable members, all the faculty members who are right now connected with each other here, I'm passing my honor to them. Principal sir also, he is not might present here, but my honor to him also. All the male and female faculty members who are attending this session. In today's session, we are about to discuss the post-COVID situation for the education sector, and there are so many effects. Some are harmful effects, some are beneficial effects as well. And what are the harmful effects we are facing? There may be some solutions for that. We have to find out, and we have to discuss those solutions also in this session. In the year 2019, perhaps in the last month of the 2019, about November, this pandemic has started to spread in the world, and gradually it also spread in India also after some time. And gradually, to control the situation, our government had decided to shut down the education system from offline mode. Means real-time classroom teaching was not there, and in physical mode, students were not allowed to enter into the school premises, and they were stuck inside their homes, and we faculty members also stuck in our homes. And education is basic and fundamental need of every human being for enhancing the personality, for enhancing the livelihood related parameters like professional skill development, personal skill development, etc. These are possible only by the education. Education system also provide the ethical value also. Whenever we are teaching in the classroom, we are not just catering the knowledge related contents, but we are catering the value educations also to learners. But whenever this pandemic situation has arrived and adversely affected the education system, not only the primary or middle school, from the Montessori or nursery level school to the college level colleges or higher educational institutions, all education catering systems were suddenly shut down, and education was available only from our homes. Government had decided to continue the provision of education facilities from the online mode. Sometimes in between the controlled situations of the pandemic, for 1 month or 2 months, many students were permitted to attend the school also in controlled situations. but regular classroom environments were adversely affected during these time periods. And this has created so many problems we are going to discuss about one by one. First problem was the physical absence of the student from the educational institution where harshly affected the school system, college system, and higher education system as well. Because whenever students are continuously coming to the school, colleges, or higher education institutions, they are getting physical contact to the educators. All the stakeholders associated with the education systems are getting benefit from each other, and it is more advantageous whenever we are facing right now in this situation also. We are only connected from online mode, and we are just seeing someone's picture in the screen, and whenever all of us are going to connect with each other, then we are not going to observe what are the facial situation, what are the facial expressions, what a person can express about. But in real classroom situation, all the emotions can be observed very easily. What the learner wants to get from the educator, what the educator want to deliver for the learner. This is better catered by the real time situation in the classroom. We are emotional supporters as well for the learners. But whenever we are connected through each other to each other from online mode, especially it is not possible to support emotionally from the online mode, because in that way we are not as much capable to support the learners. We are just catering our content through by a limited time interval. Thereafter, the major adverse effect, whatever we were facing, is the availability of the resources for the learners. In this situation, what we are observing that whenever we are operating online classes, limited numbers of students are capable to get these facilities because their parents are providing such equipments like tablets, computers, or smartphones, etc. By using these gadgets, learners can get benefit. But all the parents are not as much economically sound that they can provide such equipments to their learners or their students or their wards. So if your class contains about if your class has 40 students, and whenever we are connecting with the learners, about 30%, about 40% learners are connecting in the online classes. Network related all issues were also a major cause, because whenever we need to connect with each other in the by the online mode, then it causes it needs the stable connectivity, continuous and stable connectivity, to cater the facility, education facility to the learners. But unfortunately, sometimes what happens, due to the load of network or due to certain another parameters, we are not getting continuous and stable network connectivity, and it also adversely affects the education delivery system. Next one is, whenever we are connecting in online mode with the learners and we are providing the time frame to attend the classes, we had provided longer interval related school timetable. Suppose that 5 period or 6 period time table is provided to the learner, and all the learners are connecting to the online classes for a longer period of time. It causes adverse effect physically, mentally, and socially also. One by one, we are going to talk about these parameters. Whenever learners are connecting from the online mode by using their laptops or tablets or computers, the screen radiates certain kinds of radiations which are not suitable for our healthy eyes. whenever we are watching continuously a bright screen and we are listening the sound from the earphones, then it causes the auditory problem, optical problems also. And whenever we are not capable to respond in sufficient way or in effective manner, or we are not performing as much as desired, then it also causes the mental suppressions also. So these were some limitations, these were some disadvantages during the online classes, and many learned parents also raised the issue about that. These issue raised issue about these problems that sir, ma'am, how can I provide my little ones a tablet for a longer interval of time to learn something in online mode? It will be not very good for their proper health, and it will adversely affect their health. But unfortunately, we were bound to do so because we have to cater our education also from that online mode. So we were bound for that, and we were continuously doing the same. Many students were not present with their peers in real way. Whenever students are coming to the school, then what happens? They are mixing with each other, they are sitting with each other, they are sharing their ideas, their emotions with each other, and these are enhancing their personal development as well as mixing capability, socialization of the students as well. But what happens whenever they are stuck in their homes and they have to only read? One thing you all have noticed many times, that whenever we are watching children playing, then we most of time, to get a peaceful situation in our home, we only instruct the child, please go to reading table, read something, do something. And in the time of COVID, everyone was stuck to the home and they were bound to remain in their home. There was no any playground to play. In these situations, students were not able to play freely. Any type of physical activity related games were not permitted to them, because that was a complete lockdown period. After that, what happened? Whenever students were getting chance to get together with each other, then large gap associated with the pandemic related lockdown was not as much sufficient, was not providing as much sufficient time to mix the learner with each other in proper way. So it also adversely caused the physical activity of the learners and socialization of learner as well. During this period, many school system were not completely connected with all the learners. Unfortunately, India is a developing country and it is not a developed nation, and monitoring system is not proper. Whenever students are getting their smart devices like computer, mobile phone, laptops, etc., there are certain rules and regulations to use these things. Whenever we are providing a smartphone to any little one, then there are certain censorships present in different type of contents. Some contents are 3 plus age related child, some contents are 12 plus age related child, some contents are 15 plus or 17 plus age related child, some contents are 18 plus or adult contents which are available in online mode. And no any teacher and no any parent is continuously available to monitor what their children are doing. In this way, what happens whenever students are getting their smart devices to get facilities, what happens? Students are getting stuck with unfair types of virtual contents which are adversely impacting their sentiments, and it also degrades the moral values of the associated viewers. So the monitoring system must be proper. Whenever we are providing any kind of content to the learner, there must be age-related censorship and proper monitoring and guidance should be there. If we are not watching what the learners are doing with their smart devices, then there are greater chances of deviation. Sorry, sir. Uh, 1 minute, I am adjusting my device because it had some of you are waiting to connect, so I'm letting them in the meeting. Okay. Sir, are you getting my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So censorship related issues were also a major problem during the pandemic period, and many students, we are thinking that our child or children are not as much intelligent as we are, but in present situation, in present scenario, a small kid is also as much aware as we are thinking about ourselves. So these are positively taken as well as negatively taken. Suppose that our children is capable to understand the ethical value and practicing ethical values more than us, it is very good. But whenever negative aspects of the online content and are served to them and they are getting inspired by those things, then these are also causing adversely to them. Their personality is adversely affected, their personal development is adversely affected. Suppose that whenever we are watching any movie, then the dialogues of hero are not more common, but dialogue of negative shade characters are becoming more popular. It is a common phenomenon that we are accepting. Most unfortunately, the fashion or trend is supporting the negative trends more common in the learners because they are finding themselves more fascinated. The learners are finding themselves more connected with the negative character because these are directly or indirectly related to the arrogance or power, and everyone wants to enjoy such kind of power. Everyone wants to share or show such kind of powers, and these are also very common and dominant in the learners, especially in the adolescent childs. Whenever we are watching class 8 students, class 9 students, or secondary or senior secondary students, they are just evolving. And whenever there is no any monitoring or proper guidance during the online classes, then what happens? They are consuming the various kinds of censored and uncensored contents, and they are getting such kind of information, and they are practicing as well. These are causing the social these are causing the social problems as well as the education related problems also. Later on, we have to also discuss the economic adverse effects also during the pandemic period. Whenever complete lockdown was imposed to the nation, many government jobs were continued, many organized sector jobs were continued, but such sectors are very limited in India, like large nations. Large number of population in India is getting its livelihood from the unorganized sectors. Some are fruit sellers, some are vegetable sellers, some are businessmen, some are related to the service sectors. And they are providing education to their children also. But whenever the pandemic related situations are spreading all over the world, then their livelihood gets adversely affected. And if they are providing their education, proper or good education in private schools like ours, then such organizations also depends on the fees collections from the parents and the students. But whenever such kind of lockdown related situation persists for a longer period of time, then no any company is going to pay handsome or large amount of salary to their workers. In this way, what happened? Many students' parents got lost their livelihood related jobs, and such parents were not capable to pay the school fees of the children, and they were forced to drop out from their public schools, and they were connected to the government sectors also, government schools also. But in current situation, the service of the government schools and the service of the private schools are very different. In the government schools, the education is not as much good because of the limited resources, because of the small amount of wage or limited wage to the teachers. Teachers are thinking to get the livelihood from other sources, so they are not paying attention properly to the students in the classroom or school premises. They are thinking to get the livelihood from another sources. But whenever the livelihood of teacher associated with the public schools like ours, then in this case we are able to provide proper education to the learner. But what happens? It is dependent on the economic transaction from the parent side to the school side. Then if we provide proper service to the learners, then such kind of fee payment from the parent to the school will come. But unfortunately, whenever the situations are adversely forced to control the pandemic by imposing shutdown, then in such condition, what happens? No any income is coming to the large number of parents, and they are not capable to provide such a fees structure of the schools. In such condition, like that, our school right now we are facing economic crisis also. So these are some limitations whenever we are imposing shut down for a longer period of time. Education, one thing you all have noticed that every sector was closed, but gradually the railways, the transportation, the aviation sector, the hotel sector, the market, the online services. Thereafter, we have also noticed business houses, everything gradually opened and they were providing services. But education sector was the only one which was completely shut down for a longer period of time, and students and parents were not capable to get the benefits from the education sector related organizations and institutions. This has created a large gap between the learning and teaching process. About 2 years teaching and learning gap has been developed in the learners. So all the stakeholders associated with the school, associated with the children, associated with the parents, associated with the governing bodies must be allowed to or must be forced to think on these shortcomings, that whatever the education gap has been created between learners, it has to be coped by extra support, because time is limited. Whenever time is passing, then nothing can revive the time interval. 2 years time period is not very small time period, it is a very long time period, and this education and teaching gap created between the learners is very large and uncopable. So we have to think about that also. Now we have to think over the solution, whatever the situations persisting right now after the COVID-19 related situations. First thing, that government is right now providing the vaccination drive to the different localities, to all the population. 60 plus age related civilians have been vaccinated. Thereafter 18 plus age related population have been vaccinated, and now it is turn of the school adolescents that they are also getting their vaccination. And government is thinking to control the pandemic, but the adverse lifestyle and rule breaking tendency of the nation, people of nation is responsible for the. 1 minute, sir. Someone is waiting to join. I am letting them in. So, what we were discussing that vaccination drive is going on right now, and government is allowed to open all the schools. Now schools are open and students are coming to the school, but these children are not like that of previous students. In the gap of the lockdown period, they have already learnt what are the knowledge related content to them. Those who were capable to get facilities from online classes. So right now in the classroom there are two categories of children, and this is very difficult to balance such situation. One category of student is of that kind which is getting privilege of the online classes supported by school and commercial platforms also like Byju's or Unacademy, etc. They are well fitted with the proper academic knowledge to pass the examination, and they are well discussing the problems in the classroom. But in the same classroom, that much children is also present which is not provided such online facilities or such kind of costly facilities of education, and that children whenever is comparing his education or her education with such children, then this teaching and learning gap whatever is present right now in the classroom is very difficult. It seems very difficult to handle such a large difference to provide how a very slow learner, the children is not slow learner, but because of the limited resources he or she had not got such kind of opportunity to get facility. But those children or student who were slow learner in our classes 2 years ago, but right now whenever we are teaching them, we are amazingly finding them that they are well to answer the questions. They are capable to participate the various kind of they are capable to participate in various kind of activities. So these gaps must be coped. So it will be only possible by the active participation of our faculty members. If we are going in the classroom, then we must think about those students which are which we are not capable to get online facilities during the period of gap. Large number of students are right now present. Suppose that I have already discussed about these statistics, that whenever I'm presenting one situation of class 8B, suppose that there are 40 students, and whenever we are calling or connecting with the students, 14 or 15 students are continuously connecting with us, and they are getting facility from our side. They are not only getting facilities from our side, but they are getting supportive facility from the tutors and the online services, other online services also. But large number of students right now are present of that much kind who were not such privileged. They are deprived from such facilities, and whenever they are coming to the school, then we have to cater those students. They need special attention and special care from our side. Whatever we have to do, we have to continuously notice the progress of students. Whenever we are teaching in the classroom, we must maintain our we must pay our attention to every kind of children in the classroom. Some are whenever we are thinking that any one student is whenever we are raising any question to students and students are not capable to answer, then we have to change our planning of teaching, and we have to plan such we have to plan our teaching in such a manner that a very weak or slow learner can get the proper knowledge from our content when whatever we are serving for them. And meanwhile, in that classroom, a very sharp learner is also present who is demanding extra higher content in the classroom. Suppose that you are teaching in the class 9th structure of atom and someone is asking about the quantum mechanical model. It becomes very difficult to handle such situation. Then we have to quench the thirst of knowledge for such learners also. Suppose that if anyone is reading higher class studies also and he is needing needful of our support because he has already finished his syllabus from various sources, but whenever he is coming to the school, the interest in the classroom is not proper for that student. He or she will not take such interest because whatever content we are delivering in the classroom is for the masses, for the students who are not. 1 minute, sir. Those students who are not related to masses, those students who are not got benefited with the extra support from their parents are coming to the classroom. We have to focus on them, and those students who are extra brilliant right now in the classroom, we have to provide extra support or extra care also. We have to provide problems, such kind of problems and such kind of content by giving spare time to them. By sparing our time to them also, we have to provide extra time to such learners also to engage them in proper in the classroom. We have to engage such students properly in the classroom also. So we have to pay attention for those students also. Now we have to think about another parameter, whatever we are facing, that examination pattern, whatever continuously changing in these days, that syllabus have been reduced. CBSE and every state boards, other state boards have not reduced the syllabus, especially whenever we are teaching in our CBSE associated schools. Then in these schools, syllabus have been reduced in every subject. But whenever we are teaching content in the classroom, then some necessary contents which are interlinked with the previous knowledge are there, which were not right now present in the present syllabus. So whenever we are teaching our content in the classroom, we have to manage our class in such a manner that even after the reduced syllabus, we must provide certain minimum knowledge, certain minimum content in simple way, so that student can correlate such knowledge, get such knowledge to get proper knowledge through our teaching in the classroom. It is clear that syllabus is right now reduced, but they need that content because throughout syllabus is very necessary in future, and these, whenever we are not serving to the children, then it will create the knowledge gap. It will adversely affect their higher studies. So to provide good education to the learner, we must find out the scope to provide the gaps of the syllabus. What are the gaps created by the boards? We have to serve that content also to the learner. Not thinking that we should not think that these are not the part of syllabus, so we should not discuss. We should have to discuss these things also, but by managing time also. For a longer period of time, examination related threat also. Longer period of time, students were getting the knowledge content from the online mode, but whenever school had opened, examinations were conducted. Many students are facing problem to write, especially in the junior class. It is a big problem that writing skills of learners, reading skills of learners are not as much good. That must be there in their usual level. Suppose that in the class 1, class 2, class 3 related classrooms, basic mathematical skills, basic linguistic skills, basic calculation related skills are necessary, and writing skills are also necessary, and they are not getting such kind of content from the online classes, because online classes we are not providing as much practice like in the classroom. So special attention is needed for such kind of learners also. After 2 years, whenever a student is coming to the school, the class 1 going students are right now present in class 3, class 3 going students are students right now present in class 5. So 2 years gap is very large gap, and whatever the teaching related gap, education related gap has been created, we have to cope those things slowly. We have not to supply sudden flood of the content to them, but gradually we have to plan our education in such a way, we have to plan our teaching in such a way that whenever we are teaching a particular content in the classroom, the previous classroom related content must be placed in the classroom, raised, we must raise some questions in the classroom, and obviously large number of students will not be able to answer those questions because proper information or proper teaching is not given to them. So we have to provide facilities to them in the classroom. We have to provide, we have to facilitate such education that they will, that it will benefit them. Thereafter, we have to think about emotional needs of the students. It is a very long period that students were present in their home. They were with their mothers, their fathers, sometimes their relatives also. And whenever they are right now coming in the classroom, they are not finding themselves to fit in the classroom in such a way that in a school must be. Many students are not able to behave in proper manner, how to behave with the peers, how to behave with the teachers, because it is a gap, whatever created by the time. So we have to be emotionally supported to them. Whatever shortcomings we are finding in them, we must not show our aggression to them. We have to support them. We have to provide proper uh, care to them so that their emotional needs should be quenched whenever they are not going to abide the rules and regulations in the classroom, whenever they are not going to abide rule and regulation in the field or in the
Rajiv sir. Hello, Rajiv sir.
Sorry, sir, for interruption. Devashish sir
Okay.
is raising problem that he is not capable to join the link. But I am watching many of you are present in the meeting, and he is telling me that he is not capable to join this meeting. Uh, how he will join, please, sir? Any idea? Anyone? Bharat, sir. Bharat, sir.
यस सर बोला जाए.
Uh, Bharat, sir. कॉल कर रहे थे, बोल रहे थे कि वो ज्वाइन नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, जबकि लिंक इसी लिंक से आप लोग भी जुड़े हुए हैं।
हाँ, तो कॉल वॉल आया होगा तो कट गया होगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
हाँ।
सेम लिंक पर क्लिक